What is it, my bearded bros? Beard Maniac here. November 18th is a Sunday. We do this every Sunday. You know what it is. NBA playoffs as they are. As you can see, the seeds didn't change so much from last week. We did have Philly and Boston switch. Toronto dropped a game to Boston. Milwaukee's been dropping a couple games. Orlando's up to 7th, which is a shocker. Biggest surprise here to me would probably be Memphis and LA being 4 and 5 right now. In Houston, it's good to see them back in the playoffs as it currently stands. Denver, New Orleans, kind of surprising they're not higher up. And also a big surprise, the Jazz are nowhere to be seen. So, as you know, I analyze almost every matchup, so if we make a quick go into it, Toronto versus Charlotte should be a 4-game sweep. Philadelphia at Boston, I think that with the way things are, with how inconsistent Jaylen Brown, Terry Rozier are on the offense for Boston Celtics, and with Jimmy Butler in Philly, I think this would be a 5-game series, with Philly winning in obviously 5. If they dropped one, it would probably be the first game back in Boston, so game 3. And then you have Indy at Detroit. I think Indy wins this one in 6. I like Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond. I say this every time. But Oladipo knows how to take over a game. And Drummond doesn't necessarily know what it takes to get it done in the playoffs. So I think that hurts him a little bit. But always a first down for everything. And then you got Milwaukee versus Orlando. I love the matchup here for Orlando, but I think Milwaukee takes this in 7. And yes, I say 7 because I think Orlando can seriously compete with Milwaukee. I like Vucevic, I like Bamba, I like Gordon, especially defensively on Giannis. If anybody matches up well, it's the collective big men of the Magic, especially considering it's the Magic. You wouldn't think them as serious contenders. Then you have Golden State Rockets. I think if Steph Curry came back healthy, if they got their chemistries back together, it would be a 5-game series, with the first loss probably being game 2 in Golden State, just because the Rockets tend to steal one away early, then collapse. And then you got the Clippers at the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies win this one in 7. Now, I think defensively, in the veteran presence, I think the Grizzlies match up just a tad better, and I think they steal one on the road early and hold home court relatively well. And then you got Thunder, Nuggets. I still think the Nuggets take this one against the Thunder in a 4-game sweep. That is bold to say, but I don't trust George or Russell when it comes to shooting the ball consistently over a 7-game period. So predicting a sweep is awfully crazy, but I trust Jokic. And then you got Portland at New Orleans. I like how New Orleans faces. I believe it was New Orleans who 4-game swept the Portland last year. Losing Rajon Rondo did hurt, so I'd say the Pelicans in 7. Anyway, Anthony Davis obviously would be the MVP in that series. Let's have the computer adjust rotation, because obviously I'm going to control the Celtics, because they are my jam, and they get eliminated every goddamn time. So, if you look at the East, all the teams that I predicted fell nearly how I predicted. Boston in 7 lost. Charlotte did steal one, and Orlando did push it to 7 against Milwaukee, which is funny because I actually predicted that. One thing that fell the wrong way are all the upsets on the West Coast that I predicted that never happened. In fact, all the favorites won. I don't know if it's because the NBA 2K simulations actually give home court more important meaning than it should actually have in the playoffs, especially with a bunch of good teams. But it's very, very interesting to see Denver only stealing 1 game in OKC. The other ones I can see logistically happening. There could be arguments made for the Clippers and Memphis Grizzlies. I think every game in that series would probably be close. But with how it is now, I think it would be Raptors in 6 over Philly, the Bucks over Indy in 7, Portland in 6 over OKC, and then a sweep of the Clippers. And of course, you know the simulation's going to have Golden State winning the championship. Philly ended up upsetting Toronto. That's one of the first times Toronto hasn't made it to the finals in the simulation, so that's actually kind of cool. It was interesting to see Portland get knocked out yet again. In this one, obviously Golden State all the way, and I would have to go Philly. Ooh, Milwaukee won it in 7. Ooh, Giannis versus KD. I gotta go Golden State all the time. Golden State all the time. Yep. Every time. But this time Durant got MVP. That's the first time for everything. Anyway, guys, as you know, every week the playoffs change at least just a little bit. So I'll see you next Sunday. Peace.